Nigeria's political evolution is either on the verge of something radically new or something dangerously familiar. Radically new because in 2023, in Nigeria's history, we've never seen Nigerians rally around a third force. We've always gravitated towards a two-party state. But then in 2023, all that changed. We saw the charismatic leader of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, mobilize young Nigerians, especially all across the length and breadth of Nigeria, from south to east, from north to west. But then, as we count down to 2027, unfortunately, because the Nigerian political class have begun the season of campaigns too early, some people even argue that never in our history have we seen campaigns begin halfway into the life of a sitting president and administration. But then, while 2023 and that movement might have been very new in Nigeria, we can't forget that in 2015, we saw a shift. We saw also history being made that the opposition force came and won the party in power. We've never seen that happen. But then, as we count down to 2027, the Labour Party seems to be plagued with internal wanderings, leadership crisis, and some people argue very unclear direction, having the leader of the party, Mr. Peter Obi, not being very clear right now as to what platform, or Nigerians not being very clear on what platform he might want to run, as he has declared he's going to run in 2027. Is it going to be on the platform of the Labour Party? We'll talk about the crisis, especially the new twist in all of that crisis. Is it going to be on the platform of the ADC? Also very confusing, given recent developments and comments from some actors within that party. Or is it going to be his old party, the PDP? We already see people like Professor Jerry Ghana. We see people like the Bauchi State Governor are coming out to make statements in public that makes it very clear that the PDP might also be wooing him to come back to the party. Today on Citizens Forum, we'll be having a conversation around these issues as we focus on the Labour Party and the crisis within the Labour Party, talk about its impact in what the impact of this will be as we journey down to 2027. My name is Jude Geoman Ekeji. I'm ready. My guest on the other end is quite ready, I'm sure, and we bet you're ready. This is welcoming you to Citizens Forum on Sapiencia's channel. I'm going to connect right now to Yunusa Tanko, who has said he'll be waiting for that call. Of course, he's the leader of the Obidient Movement worldwide. We'll connect that call and we'll keep the conversation going on. He's here to pick up that call. We're going to, okay. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning and welcome to Citizens Forum on Sapiencia's channel.
Thank you.
Okay, and my guest today on Citizens Forum is Mr. Yunusa Tanko. I hope I got that right. The leader of the Obidient Movement worldwide. Yunusa Tanko.
I would have preferred a Malam Yunusa Tanko. You know, we in the north, we revere the word Malam.
Okay. All right. Of course. Malam Aminu Kano also preferred that. So, yes.
Thank you.
Malam Yunusa Tanko, welcome to Citizens Forum.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's take it straight from the top. Of course, you are the leader of the Obidient Movement. The Obidient Movement needs no introduction to Nigerians. Like Fela said, if you need Obidient Movement explained to you, then you must be a Johnny Just Drop. But none of us, of course, listening to the program is. So, but then let's begin to talk about the Obidient Movement and the recent move we've seen. So much controversy was raised, at least on social media, when we saw Mr. Abure meeting with Mr. Nyesom Wike. But then I think for those who follow and who love the Obidient Movement, they were really shocked when they saw a meeting between Dati Baba Ahmed, who was a running mate to Mr. Peter Obi in 2023, and he attended that next meeting organized by the Abure faction. Some people did not see this coming. What is really happening Is there a crack within the Obi's camp? Is this some kind of strategy? Is Obi aligned with this move? Tell us all about that meeting and what you think about it.
Well, I will tell you one thing. We have been very, very careful in making response to the dynamism of the politics of today. It is full of muddy and very silky waters. So, but then, in response to the meetings, well, as far as we are concerned, it's a meeting that we are actually not aware of. And of course, you know, individuals have their constitutional right to go to wherever they like to go to without any interference or hindrance. But one thing is sure is that we were not aware of it. Maybe your further question would have been that you saw Nana Kazauri in that particular meeting.
Yeah, Nana Kazauri was also there, that's true.
Yeah, so, and then we issued our statement. You could have read my statement that Nana was there on an individual capacity, not to represent the Obidient Movement in that particular meeting. And she has also made it very, very clear. So, as far as we are concerned, that meeting was done on individual basis, not on representation of the movements as Obidient.
But even though you have put out a statement, Mr. Peter Obi has been silent. So let me ask this, because for Nigerians, we do understand that within the Labour Party, and it has almost become the norm with political parties these days, you get to have this faction and faction. Some of us don't know what it means. But let's talk about what people might call the Obi faction. And that is Mr. Peter Obi, the governor of Abia State, Alex Oti, and Senator Nenadi Usman. The Senator Nenadi Usman led caretaker I don't know if she has become officially chairman yet. I saw that last meeting. You tell us all about that. That seems to be where the Obidient Movement, the family of the Obidient Movement, gravitate towards.
Well,
tell us exactly why it has been difficult for this faction to become known by INEC and accepted by INEC as the official Labour Party leadership that INEC will take correspondence from, because we know in the election seasons, once it comes to the election seasons, we are going to hear people vying for political office saying, well, even though I might have wanted to use this party, I'm afraid to use this party lest I get the Zamfara treatment where I win this election, but then INEC says, we don't recognize whoever it was who signed your form. What is the step really to get the Senator Nenadi Usman-led faction recognized by INEC, which is very important?
Let me tell you this.
Yes.
His Excellency Peter Obi is a Democrat. And he does things based on accordance with the position of the law as a Democrat, because it is the strength and the pillar of our democratic tenets.
Right.
His Excellency followed the position of the Supreme Court. And that is where he lies his own strength in where he is at the moment. With regard to the Independent Electoral Commission in their own decision, that of course is a question you must ask INEC. But why have they not taken due diligence to do justice to the pronouncement of the Supreme Court? This is how many months now that this particular pronouncement has been made by the courts. But yet, INEC choose to follow what that organization believes in. You could see the handwriting on the wall, and that they are not ready to respond to those issues. So we are not INEC. It is their responsibility to respond to that particular questions as it's been asked. And we are just to follow as abiding Democrats. So that's far as I can say with regard to that situation. But it is obvious that INEC is not willing or ready to deal with that matter in an emergency position. So we must continue to put pressure on INEC to respond accordingly to the position of the Supreme Court.
All right, so let's talk about this. You lead the Obidient Movement. In Nigeria's political history, one would really struggle. Maybe somebody will refresh my mind tomorrow, but one will really struggle, especially in this Fourth Republic, to think of a movement that has come, a movement like this. So let's talk about this movement. Is this movement thinking of the metamorphosis into a political party? Is this movement thinking of remaining as a pressure group? Let's also talk about this movement and say, can this movement survive? This movement and the Labour Party, because this movement was synonymous with the Labour Party, at least during the last elections. We still recall LP this, LP that, LP 71. This movement was tied strongly with the Labour Party. Do you think one can survive without the other? Do you think the Labour Party can survive without the Obidient Movement? Do you also think this Obidient Movement can survive without the Labour Party as it is right now?
I can tell you categorically clear that the Obidient Movement will survive independently without any political party. Because what the Obidient Movement is demanding for is a clear-cut quest or demand, good governance. And that particular good governance has eluded Nigerians for far too long. And it's not going to be seen in a very short period. It has to be a continuous and sustained struggle. Yes, our intention is to start with Mr. Peter Obi as the leader of the movement, and of course, the pillar that will ensure that we bring in good governance in Nigeria, and so we believe. And in that case, if he starts it, of course, definitely he's not going to be the only person that I will continue to lead it in entirety, even myself. So, but the truth about it is that the quest for good governance will continue until we get Nigeria to almost near perfection. And that will take a time. But the Nigerian youth are resolute and determined to continue to fight for the soul of Nigeria in the light of building a strong and viable country that every one of us will be proud of. So it is in that vein that I will make a very large and loud request that everybody who believe in the Obidient Movement and believe in good governance should continue to build around Mr. Peter Obi. Don't stop. Don't antagonize. Don't accuse, just like your leader. Have you ever seen Mr. Peter Obi abusing and accusing anybody? No. He only speaks to the issues, which is what actually joined all of us together. The issue of power, the issue of security, the issue of economic, the issue of education, the issue of poverty. Those are the major issues that affect Nigerians. And so therefore, I am pleading with every Obidient. Let's continue to build around our polling units. Let's continue to build around our polling unit. I repeat, let's continue to build around our polling unit. It is our only strength. So at the time in which we are ready, or he is ready to pronounce where we are going, we have already had the machineries, human resources, and all energy to combat those who have held us in perpetual poverty. That is the message that I'm sending to every Obidient around the world, not only in Nigeria. Don't waste this opportunity. We have time now. Continue building. Continue building. Once you do that, it is easy to fight these particular people. Every strategy that you have can be put into this particular structural building. You can see we are no more only on the social media. We are now physical on ground. In my state, for example, Kano State, we just inaugurated the 44 local government coordinators of the Obidient Movement. Each of the local governments have already started building around 20 to 20% around the ward level. And they will dovetail down to the polling unit. Once every state can do that, Once every state can do that before the end of the year, there is no political movement. There is no political party that will be able to withstand the pressure of the Obidient Movement. I so say.
All right, very heavy one there. But answer this very briefly, because I did ask you a question about political party pressure group. With the power of hindsight now, do you think the Obidient Movement made a mistake by not trying to galvanize itself into becoming a political party post 2023? Especially now that you see what's going on with the political parties, opposition parties, not just the Labour Party, opposition parties seem to allege that there are unseen hands of the party in power. In whether that is right or wrong, I don't know. But they say they see the hand of the party in power in their political parties. Do you think the Obidient Movement should have gone ahead, either pick one party, infiltrate that party to the extent that nobody can take a decision against members of the Obidient family, or register a fresh political party?
Let me explain.
Yes.
For those who are well abreast with registration of political party, it has its process. The major one is that you start up as an association, and the association means you must have covered 2 over 3 of the country in terms of your register and all. Okay. You must have physical people that you've already registered them. You must have an office in Abuja, and the requirement for registration of political party is already in the public domain.
Yeah. And
so therefore, what we are doing right now, it is possible that in the nearest future we'll be talking about a political party for the Obidient Movement. But without the human resources and other things that is required by INEC, it is just a kind of exercise in futility. And that is the reason why I'm saying, and I'm stressing again, let's build our structures, physical structures, not on social media. Yes, the social media can be our gathering point to send messages. But physical being, when we are ready to register the political party, INEC will see physical persons on ground. You will agree with me, some couple of years ago, most of our strength is actually on the social media. But now it has been diverted down to physical personalities being on ground. That is the process of registering a political party. So it is not impossible that we may be considering that while we continue building.
All right. Now, I really was going to ask you about Mr. Peter Obi and the coalition, the ADC coalition. But there's a new twist to the whole game. I'm just coming back from my trip to northern Nigeria. I went to Kano, Katsina, and Sokoto. We'll talk about all of that later anyway. But, and besides the ADC coalition, it is now very clear that the PDP, Mr. Peter Obi's former home, is also gunning for him. We've heard from Professor, the very, very respected Professor Jerry Ghana. We've heard from the governor of Bauchi State. And we hear the things they say. And it's very clear that they are reaching out to him to run on their platform. The ADC coalition, he was also in that talk, but we don't see what's really coming with it. Can you clarify on this coalition and the PDP discussion? Can you speak to that?
Okay. I'll be extremely careful to speak to that particular issue.
Which of the issues? Both?
The issue of PDP or any other political party, or the alliance or the coalition. And this is my take.
All right.
The coalition discussions will be strictly restricted to the position of His Excellency Peter Obi. Strictly restricted. And two, with regard to the issue of PDP, it is very clear that the Obidient Movement have provided a pillar for His Excellency as the leader. And that is why he has become a very beautiful bride to any political party in Nigeria. So I'm not restricting it to one political party, because he has the strength and he has the population and he has the people who are supporting him on a continuous basis. And that's the more reason why I was telling you, and I repeat again, this is the third time I'm saying it. Please go go and continue building, because when we continue building and everybody, anywhere you touch in this country, you hear the name Peter Obi. Anywhere you go to Inlela, you hear. You go to Zambisa Forest, you hear Peter Obi. You go to Ikorodu and Ibeduleki, you hear Peter Obi. You go to Ikotepene, you hear Peter Obi. Then tell me, where would you look for another candidate when you have this? Where? You can't toy with it. So therefore, for those who are beckoning on us, we thank you. We are humble. We are very much humble. We'll continue to build and continue to make ourselves visible with conscious reason to the Nigerian people, telling them that Peter Obi is the most suitable choice of a president in terms of bringing in quality leadership, in terms of bringing in resolute determination to change the dynamics in Nigerian politics, in terms of individual who is well grounded and well determined to make Nigeria a better country. So a person who is ready to give accountability to every step of his governance. And that, of course, to us is Mr. Peter Obi. And that is the candidate that every one of us should continue to sell. Forget about the distraction. Let us just focus. And so when the time comes for us to take a decision, or for him to take a decision, we have made it very clear that anywhere Peter Obi is going, we are marching behind him. Anywhere he's going, we are marching behind him. So if he decides to go to any political party, A, B, C, D, you'll be rest assured that the Obidient will be marching behind Peter Obi.
All right. Well, with this popularity also comes a problem. And the problem here is people who come out even publicly, look at what's going on in those states, and say, we hate this man. And so with this popularity comes various attacks from various quarters. Yes, you've talked about Mr. Peter Obi being a Democrat, but same virtues you point out to him being a Democrat is what somebody who was on your camp in 2023 also pointed out and said, well, he's a weak man. And I'm talking about Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo. And people like that think this is really being weak. That the Nigerian state is a tough one. That the Nigerian political game is a rough one. And so you have to be tough, you have to be rough, you have to be brutal. Sometimes even break what is perceived to be the law if you are ready to play this game. Like they say, how dare you make an omelette without breaking some eggs? So as we see what's going on around the country, there's a gentle anti-Peter Obi, the governor of Benue State, the governor of Edo State. And of course, for that to happen, we see what happens in Lagos. And for that to happen, you know, we might continue to see more of this. We saw what happened in Kaduna, for instance, where I'm just coming back from. We saw what happened in Kaduna, where the Obidients were not even allowed to celebrate a birthday. So, what do you think? Do you think Mr. Peter Obi is thinking of changing his strategy? Should Mr. Peter Obi change his strategy? Are we going to see that anytime soon?
How would you change a strategy that is working? Let me ask you a question. Did Peter Obi raise any sword or a gun to be this popular? Please answer me.
Well, your brother, Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo, thinks that popularity has taken him this far and he needs to adopt a tougher strategy.
No, when you change a strategy, then you are doomed to fail. If you're talking about violence or being tough or being antagonistic, these particular people, you are not capable to take them on that. You are not. They have the talks, they have the social media, they have the media, mainstream media, they have government in their hands. They can take you on in any aspect of violence in terms of aggressiveness. But Mr. Peter Obi used a reverse psychology on them and it is working. And that was exactly what made him this popular every state. A clear example is this. When David and Goliath took on each other, is David as strong as Goliath? Was he? Obviously, no. Am I correct?
I think you are.
So, what are they taking? Only one stone. Only one stone. And then the giant man was down. So what I'm trying to tell you in essence is that the thoughtful manner that affects you in a way that you can never get out of it. Take a case example. Peter Obi always comes out to talk about issue with confirmed figures. There have never been any contrary opinion as regards to position that he has raised. When he said he left money in the coffers of Anambra State, they could not debunk it. They're looking for all kinds of lies to bring that particular position down. They couldn't. It didn't take a gun to do that. When he was going to Benue State, did he go in with gun or with the sword and iron? No. It was his popularity that was taking him there. And when the man rejected, you could see how the storm was turning up on him. Take a look at what is happening to Edo State Governor. He's struggling now to find a way to survive out of this particular state. Peter Obi did not pick just a bullet, he didn't. So these are strategies that individuals use to gain their own popularity without being violent or being antagonistic. And you get sentiment of the people. Yes, I agree. There may be times in which you have to be much strong in your words, which you have been applying. So the idea of weakness is not even in the book of Mr. Peter Obi. He has just been a strategic person in attacking a situation with logical input and with a venom that people will not see or understand, but yet it's very, very effective.
All right, so I'm in Anambra State. We're in Anambra State, and I can't end without asking you about Anambra 2025. The Labour Party is a dog in that race, and so we expect that you have something to say about this. Now, we see what's going on in the Southeast. Even though the Obidient Movement, no one can deny it. The Obidient Movement, I don't know about its leadership, but it's very strong and alive. Lots of sympathy in the Southeast, and that is quite understandable, right? But then, we have not seen the Labour Party or the Obidient Movement, election after election, really change things on ground physically. When we influence electoral outcomes, I think that's a better word to use. We've not seen the Obidient Movement affect electoral outcomes, whether it's at the local government or at the state level. Do you think the Obidient Movement structure is going to make a good showing in Anambra 2025? And by extension, the Southeast.
We are going to give it our best shot in terms of structural building. And that is the reason why I also told you about the issue of building structures around the polling unit. When we are done with that, we have the strength to be able to turn anything around.
All right. That's a beautiful place to leave it. Thank you very much, Malam Yunusa Tanko, for taking time out to respond to this. I really do appreciate this.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
All right.
In Nigeria is possible.
Amen to that, and bless you too. And you heard it from him, Mr. Yunusa Tanko, the leader of the Obidient Movement Worldwide. Citizens Forum on Sapiencia's channel. And now we throw open the phone lines for you to let's hear your comments on all what have been said today. 080-6313-0020 and 090-359-44777. Hello? Hello? Sorry, we lost that call. Of course, you did hear Mr. Yunusa Tanko on Citizens Forum, and the whole conversation was around the Obidient Movement, the Labour Party. We also talked about the Anambra State elections, and generally talk about the state of the country. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good morning. Don't forget, when you call in, switch off the volume of your radio set, or you completely move away from where your radio set is located. Has the Labour Party been hijacked at their cracks within the walls of the Labour Party? Is the Obidient Movement likely to remain a formidable force as we count down to the next elections, even beginning from Anambra State election? Hello?
Yeah, good morning, Jude Geoman.
Yes, good morning and welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm Jude Geoman Ekeji from Manasa.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to applaud you the way you are going, you are moving this your program is very large. You know, hearing about the Tanko, I think what's that name? Tanko.
Yunusa Tanko.
Yunusa, yes. I thought that this man is maybe he's an aged man, but yeah, this man is very vibrant and strong. Well, it's a good one, though. Look, what I want to say in this issue is that I heard you saying that they are going to suspend the movement, even when Peter Obi is no longer there. But you asked him that question, but I didn't receive a good answer from him. You know, talking about the way Nigerian politicians are used to. Once they notice that this is a strong formation, they will now try to buy some people up. Before you know it, they will begin to bring their people into the movement, and they will still win everything and take over the Obidient. So I don't know how strong they are rooted. You understand? So I don't know how strong they are. And I really wish he's around. He would have asked me very well. He have answered me this question. How are they strong?
All right. Thank you so much. I think he answered it, but then we'll refresh it later on. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yeah, I'm Jude Geoman Ekeji speaking from Monitor. Malam Yunusa Tanko has said it all. It now remains on the masses. Prayerful Nigerians, it is now we have to do it physically before our prayer will start to work. If not so, we have to do it physically. Let me tell us, in the last presidential election, the people have protected our votes. The party that Mr. Peter Obi belongs to, their agents did what they should. Let it be the president, father is the judge. The election, they must not turn that vote. Peter Obi must surely be our next president. We need to come out and do the need. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, it's not campaign season, and we are not campaigning for anyone. But then, thank you for calling in. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah, my name is Ekeji. I'm calling you from Anambra State.
All right.
Yeah, thank you very much. I did a great job.
Thank you.
I must commend Malam Yunusa Tanko. I've seen him once in Enugu during the last election, last presidential election. He's a very powerful man. I love him. And I've been a member of Obidient Movement. I want to tell you something. Obidient Movement is an organic movement which is controlled by suffering Nigerians and the sufferers in Nigeria, which happens to be the biggest number of people, number of citizens in Nigeria. You know, I want to tell you that movement cannot be stopped by anybody. If you are trying to stop that movement, any government that wants to stop that movement will face another problem. That might make his second tenure, if his special is coming to second tenure, very, very give him a lot of homework. Understand?
Yeah.
So nobody can stop the movement, the Obidient movement. And the Obidient movement is already, they have come to stay, and if you continue to be following Peter Obi, you know, at his back, just like his shadow, waiting for where he will say yes, then the movement will just, follow him inside that place.
All right.
But that's what the movement is all about.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. You did great too. Hello.
Good morning, Joman.
Yes. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much. That's Chief Obiako from Umwero, Okebo.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, it is a no down for Nigeria. It is time we get it right. Now, I want to thank Tanko Yakase for his word by saying anywhere Obi goes, they are with him. If he goes to APC, to PDP, to YPP, whatever party he goes to, they are with him. It is an opportunity for Nigerians to correct their past mistake. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Even though my guest was Yunusa Tanko, not Tanko Yakase. Yakase, my father from Kano, but then he's not my guest today. All right, our Still Citizens Forum. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. I want to also appreciate your program. My name is Peter Prince. I'm calling from Asaba.
All right, thank you so much. Welcome.
Madam Yunusa Tanko has actually said it all. And I'm so pleased that we can still have Nigerians with that caliber. I want to say that the Obidient Movement, for me, I believe that they should remain in movement. If you metamorphosize the Obidient Movement into a political party, as usual, what has been happening to other political parties will happen to it. It will definitely be hijacked. And if we don't start breeding some new crop of politicians with a different mindset, I don't think this country is going anywhere. And I believe that the way to do it is to start with movements like this. And if movements like this can be sustained, not transformed into a political party. You can see what is happening between Agori going to meet this place and the faction in Labour Party. I believe that whoever is, if there have been accusations of the ruling party being fingered in causing divisions in other political parties, maybe the ruling party will not give movements like this any second thought. I might not even want to plant moves in movement like this, or movement like this can have a more cohesive way of dealing with issues like that, as opposed to when they are a registered political party. If the movement and the entire Nigeria knows that a movement can move from one political party to the other, just as the Obidient Movement is doing with one man, and if they can also change that man at will, I say today is not Peter Obi anymore. We have found another much more credible person, and we project that person. And today the person is in Labour Party, and the whole of them may move to Labour Party. And tomorrow the Labour Party is having problem, and the Obidient Movement talks to the leadership of that party and says, if you guys continue like this, we will move the entire structure to another party. Since our constitution has said that whoever is going to be our president must run on the platform of the party. And so I believe that if it is done that way, it will help this country on the long run. So for me, I'm not in support of the Obidient Movement metamorphosizing into a political party. That's my take, sir.
All right, thank you for calling into the program, sir.
Hello.
Yes, welcome, sir.
Yeah, my humble advice, Emeka speaking, is this. Obidient Movement should not be a political party. And we start knowing who to vote as senators and federal House of Rep member. This is where our prayer will start. This is where Nigeria will start working. Because you know what they did to Obi in Anambra? How many times they impeached him? He later came back. So we start knowing who to vote as senators and federal House member.
All right.
When we did this properly, fine, that is when our prayer will start to work.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. All right. Thank you. Hello. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, welcome.
Good day.
Yes, welcome, sir.
This will be okay, calling from Nigeria.
Okay, welcome, sir.
See, the Obidient Movement, number one, that movement, they are more interested
Hello?
to put Peter Obi on that seat. That is where they're mostly interested. Not to at the state level or House of Rep or Senate. That is number one. Then, and they will not stop supporting Peter Obi. They will never switch their tail to another person until Peter Obi says he will never contest for any other thing. They will not look for another qualified and good candidates. But for now, until Peter Obi retires from politics, they will support people. That's what I'm seeing. But for them to convert it to a political party, that is not point one for that movement to die off. Thank you.
All right. Well, caller after caller seems to share that view. That is quite interesting. Hello.
Hello, brother.
Yes, welcome, sir.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Oyeka. There's one advice I forgot to drop. I want Tanko Yunusa, Tanko Yunusa to advise His Excellency Peter Obi to do his research very well and know where he's going, and secondly to make sure that election is going to be won at the polling unit, not in the court. Very important, because during the last presidential election, both of us spent a lot of money that we don't have, making sure we make it happen, our own personal money, that is not party money, making sure that things happen the way it's supposed to go, and later he won, and at long run, they rob him the position from the court. So you should make sure that election will be won at the polling unit. That's what it's supposed to be, not in the court. So that his followers will not be tired of following. After when they finish working and they win election, it will be stolen from him in the court. They will continue another one. When he won again, it will be stolen from him from the court. They will continue another one. At the time, the followers will begin to be weak, and they refer to him as weakling. Understand? So the people like Tanko Yunusa, that is a staunch member, and he's a personal party man. So advise him to that. That's what some of us are saying. I'm equally
All right.
an Obidient member, a big one for that matter. Thank you very much.
All right. We'll later talk about what should be the responsibility of Nigerian citizens and what should be the responsibility of contestants and people in power. Hello. Welcome.
Hello, good morning, DJ Geoman.
Yeah, welcome to the program.
Yeah, my pleasure. The voice of Jesse Awobi. I'm reaching all the way from my hometown, Umwerokebo, this morning.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, my assessment of Obidient Movement going forward. I mean, if the Obidient Movement or the Mr. Peter Obi will be contesting this election, I believe that they have a whole lot of work to do. I mean, they need to strategize and make sure that they are out for eyes and teeth for teeth, because that is the language we understand here. Most of the times, Mr. Peter Obi is always on the pleading side. I mean, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, and I think it's a weak point on his own side. So, Obidient Movement must make sure that they are ready at all stage, at all level. I mean, I'm not inciting, not in a violent manner. Not
when you say they should be ready, explain exactly. Be very clear about what you want them to do, because you've said he's seeming like a weakling, and you wouldn't want that. So, what is the opposite of that? What exactly?
Okay. Just like what we experienced in the past election in some places in Lagos State, where they need to maybe put up cameras and put up people, train people in a sector, in assignments who can have pictorial evidences, and the voices evidences, anything that I know. I'm not like saying no. I'm also expecting a proceed in court, but he also on the side of his lawyers, because in the past election, the lawyers was indicted going for what they are pleading for. So maybe what they are pleaded for was not actually what they should plead for. So he should engage more competent hands and more versatile lawyers, and also train people in different strategic areas who can maybe capture, evidences and do a whole lot, so that if he does not end in a polling booth, if he goes to court as well, because it's still a part and parcel of it, so that they have more things to tender and to gain their victory if they actually wins the election. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, bless you too. Do have a beautiful day ahead. Still Citizens Forum on Sapiencia's channel. All right, I want to thank everybody who called into the program today. Caller after caller have contributed, and something is very, very clear with us as Nigerians, and we need to talk about this. And it's very simple. What really do we think is the responsibility of contestants? What do we think is the responsibility of political parties? What do we think is the responsibility of citizens? What do we think is the responsibility of people in power? I think because two reasons make this conversation very muddled up in Nigeria. The first reason and the saddest reason is the Nigerian military. The long stretch of military rule in Nigeria has thwarted the average Nigerian's perception of what a leader should be. And so, because of what the military did and how they militarized the whole process, a leader is only recognized to be a leader when they are dictators, when they use brute force, when they talk, act in the manner the military did. But then, is that really what leadership is? Yunusa Tanko said something, agree with him, don't disagree, or agree with him or disagree with him, is something that should spark up conversation. At least we should begin to have that conversation. Can any citizen within the shores of any country, Nigeria to be specific, mount a force that could overwhelm or marshal out some kind of violence that would overwhelm the commander-in-chief and the party they control? At least we should begin to have this conversation in our country. But then if we look at even advanced democracies and we look at America, for instance, we could see the romance between Donald Trump and his yesterday friend, Elon Musk. That clearly shows us what power is. At the end of the day, power will always be power. And those without power, when they have a conversation with people in power, should understand the strategy to bring to the table. If the strategy you want to bring is violence, how far can you go with those who control the military? That's one. But the one about the citizens is also something that we should really, a conversation we must also begin to have in Nigeria. When you live in a country where those in the opposition and those in positions of authority who are coming up for elections as incumbents have made enough to last them for a lifetime. And so you see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a millionaire, maybe a billionaire in whatever currency of this world. When you see the Atiku backers of Nigeria, and you see them multi-millionaires, maybe multi-billionaires. When you look at Mr. Peter Obi having the capacity to donate 50 million naira here, 15 million naira here, when you look at all of these individuals we are talking about, and you look at their age, you might, I don't know, but you might come to the realization that they have made enough to feed themselves and survive whatever condition Nigeria throws up to its citizens until the rest of their life. And so, I think it is dangerous for us as Nigerians to live in a fool's paradise that any of these guys, that any of them has much to lose if things go left or right. At the end of the day, the people who need saving are the millions of impoverished Nigerians, are the millions of us who are the danger, who don't know where the next meal is coming from, who don't know where the next school fees is coming from, who don't know how to foot the next hospital bill, who are just a hospital bill away from extreme poverty, who are just a kidnap away from extreme poverty. The kind of conversations we are having in Nigeria and the kind of expectation we have of these people is very unrealistic. And so when it comes to the conversation around what must be done to ensure that elections are free and fair, it should be citizens-led. Peter Aka, I give kudos to Peter Aka, to the Delo Farotimis of Nigeria, and people who are out there putting their life under great risk, advocating for electoral reform. That is what citizens do. I mentioned two people who are not in power, who are citizens, but who understand the power. People like Aisha Yusufu, people who understand the role of a citizen in a democracy. The role of a citizen is not one of waiting for somebody in power to fix the problem. It is one that you rise up and ensure that you take off all of the impediments to free, fair, and credible elections. That message that I should reach out to Yunusa Tanko and tell him to tell Mr. Peter Obi to ensure that the 2027 elections, let's refrain from that. Let's refrain from that. As citizens, we should ask ourselves, what are we doing? From the elected, from those we elect, we demand accountability. But from those who are struggling to get into positions of power, we owe ourselves a responsibility and to become active citizens who demand and insist that our elections be free, fair, and credible. That is our responsibility, because we are the ones who suffer the most when when elections are rigged. Citizens Forum will definitely be here, same time, same station next week. My name is Jude Geoman Ekeji. Do have a beautiful day ahead.